What if I told you that one of the most powerful transformational phases of your life might begin at the very moment you feel most alone? Picture this. A woman in her late 60s stands in her quiet kitchen. The walls, once echoing with the laughter of kids, the clinking of dinner plates, the hum of conversation, are now still. Her children have grown and moved far away. Friends have relocated or disappeared into their own lives. And her partner, maybe he passed, maybe he left, or maybe he's just gone emotionally. She places her teacup down, takes a long breath, and asks herself the question many women eventually whisper at some point in life. Now what? If you've ever asked that question, or fear the day you might, this video is for you. Because that question isn't the end of the road. It's actually the beginning of something beautiful. Let's talk about what to do when you grow old and are left alone. And more importantly, how to not just survive it, but to thrive. Let's start with a little secret. Being alone isn't the same as being lonely. In fact, being alone can be incredibly empowering when you know how to fill your days with meaning, movement, and joy. But it doesn't happen by accident. You've got to make some bold choices, starting with this first one. 1. Reclaim your space and redecorate for you. Your home may have once been a bustling hub for family life. Toy bins in the corner, that chair your husband insisted on keeping even though it never matched anything, a fridge filled with stuff for everyone but you. But now, this space is yours. Don't just clean up, revamp, move the furniture. Toss out that sagging recliner and get yourself a chair that feels like a hug. Paint that wall your favorite color, even if it's bright coral or moody teal. This isn't about impressing anyone. It's about surrounding yourself with what you love. Style tip. Layer your space with textures that make you feel cozy and confident. Think velvet throws, statement rugs, and lighting that flatters you in the mirror. Yes, even your mirror deserves an upgrade. Because when your environment reflects your personality, it doesn't just look good, it feels like home. 2. Start talking to yourself differently. Let's be real. The most damaging voice in your life isn't from other people. It's the little narrator in your head saying things like, "You're too old to start over," or "It's too late to find joy." Well, guess what? That voice is a liar. And frankly, she needs to be muted, like a nosy neighbor on Facebook. Instead, start each morning with one powerful thought. It doesn't need to be a cliché affirmation like, "I am a radiant goddess," unless you want it to be. And if so, yes, queen. It can be as simple as, "Today is mine." Write it on your mirror in lipstick. Put a Post-it on your coffee mug. Remind yourself every single day. Your life is not over just because someone else exited the story. In fact, this is when your story really starts to bloom. 3. Rediscover a dream, even a small one. Remember that one thing you always said you'd do someday? Maybe it was learning Italian, painting watercolors, or finally writing that spicy historical romance novel where the heroine runs off with the Duke instead of marrying the boring guy in Chapter 1. Guess what? Someday is now. And yes, you absolutely can start learning or doing something new at any age. Science backs this up. Neuroplasticity means our brains can still grow, change, and absorb new things well into our 90s. So unless you're already 108, you're good. Pick one thing that makes your heart flutter a little. It doesn't need to be world-changing. It just needs to be yours. And if your inner critic says, "But what's the point?" tell her this. Joy is the point. 4. Build a new tribe. Yes, it's still possible. One of the hardest parts of being alone as we age? People stop checking in. Or worse, they assume we want to be left alone. But humans are social creatures, even introverts who love quiet mornings and never answering the phone. Connection matters. So how do you make new friends when you're not 22 and going to parties every weekend? Start where you already are. Take a class. Join a book club. Get involved in a local community garden, walking group, or volunteer project. And please, don't roll your eyes at Meetup or Facebook groups. They're not just for millennial yoga instructors. There are thousands of groups just for women over 50 who are stepping into their next chapter and looking for meaningful connection. And here's a little mindset trick. When you walk into a room, stop wondering if people will like you, and start wondering if you'll like them. Confidence is magnetic. And no, it's not too late to meet your people. 5. Curate a golden routine. When your days suddenly become quieter, it's easy to fall into the trap of doing nothing, and then feeling worse for it. What you need is a golden routine, a gentle, joyful rhythm to your days that makes you feel grounded and excited. Morning. Maybe it starts with stretching by your window, sipping coffee while listening to a podcast. Might I suggest Golden Age tips? Or journaling one thing you're grateful for. Midday. A walk in the sunshine. Cooking something just for you, with actual herbs, not just whatever's left in the fridge. Dressing up even if you're not going out, because style is self-respect. Evening. Light a candle. Turn off the news. Watch something that makes you laugh or moves you. Better yet, call a friend, even if it's just to talk about your weird neighbor and the fact that you still don't know why she wears heels to take out the trash. The point? Your days can be beautiful and vibrant, even if they're quiet. And now let's talk about a truth that nobody wants to say out loud. Sometimes being alone as you grow older isn't just sad. It's scary. The what-ifs can keep you up at night. What if something happens to me? What if no one notices? What if I become invisible? But let me stop you right there. You are not invisible. You're not irrelevant. You're not done. You're just standing at a brand new starting line. So here's the next question. How do you protect your peace when your heart still aches? Because let's be honest, being left alone isn't always a clean break. Sometimes you're not just dealing with an empty house. You're carrying the weight of memories, unresolved grief, or even regrets that linger like old perfume on a sweater you can't quite throw away. But here's the truth. Healing isn't about forgetting. It's about refocusing. And that starts with something both radical and gentle. Giving yourself permission to feel everything. Yes, cry when you need to. Get angry if you must. Grieve the chapters that have closed. But then, take a deep breath and turn your face toward the sunlight. Because life, your life, is still happening. And what you choose to do next is where the power lives. 6. Create a you-only ritual. Let's talk about rituals, not routines, not chores. Rituals. These are tiny sacred moments that are just for you. They anchor your soul, lift your spirit, and remind you that your life still holds magic. Maybe it's lighting a candle and writing in a journal before bed. Maybe it's dancing in your living room to Motown while your tea steeps. Maybe it's wearing your favorite lipstick on Wednesdays because, why not? The point is, when the world feels too quiet, you create your own music. And these little rituals, they add structure, comfort, and joy to your day without needing anyone else in the room. 7. Take inventory of your strengths. You have so many. You've been through heartbreak, disappointment, maybe even betrayal. You've raised children, buried loved ones, paid bills when there wasn't enough, comforted others when you yourself needed comfort. And through all that, you're still here. You are not fragile. You are a fortress in pearls. So take a moment, seriously, right now, and write down 5 things you've survived. 5 moments that tried to break you, but didn't. Now look at that list. That's not just survival. That's proof. Proof that you are stronger than your fear of loneliness. Put that list somewhere visible. That's your personal legend. And anytime you doubt yourself, read it again. 8. Learn to dress for the woman you're becoming. Let's get into something fun. Clothes. Now, this isn't about dressing younger or trendier. This is about dressing in a way that mirrors how you want to feel. Confidence, ease, boldness, mystery, joy. Whatever the vibe, you deserve to look in the mirror and say, "Yes, that's me." So go through your closet. Ask yourself, does this piece make me feel like my best self? Or like I'm trying to disappear into the wallpaper? And if it's the second one, out it goes. You don't need a whole new wardrobe. You just need key pieces that feel alive on you. Think, a bright scarf, a blazer that fits just right, earrings that swing when you walk into a room. Because style isn't about impressing others. It's about showing the world you still see yourself as worth seeing. 9. Adopt a stretch-style smile, morning ritual. 3 simple things. That's all it takes to shift the tone of your entire day. Stretch your body. Wake it up. Even 5 minutes of gentle movement is enough. You don't need a yoga mat or expensive leggings. Just you, breathing, moving, and thanking your body for showing up. Style yourself. Put on something that makes you feel good, even if you're not going anywhere. It can be as simple as brushing your hair and adding a bit of color to your cheeks. Not for anyone else. For you. Smile, even if it feels fake at first. Smiling triggers a chemical response in your brain that lifts your mood. It's science. So yes, smile in the mirror, even if it's just a smirk and a, "Well, here we go again." Look, these 3 little acts, they're micro acts of self-respect. And they remind your brain, we are still living this life fully. 10. Learn the art of being your own best company. This one's big. We've been taught to measure our worth by our relationships, by who we love, who we raise, who we care for. But what if the most important relationship in your life is the one you have with yourself? Let's flip the script. What if instead of asking, "Why am I alone?" you started asking, "What do I get to discover about myself now?" Try taking yourself on solo dates. Yes, I'm serious. Go to a museum, sit in a cafe with a good book. Take a nature walk with a podcast and a fresh lipstick. Buy yourself flowers, not because they're on sale, but because you like lilies more than roses, and no one ever noticed that before. Start treating your own company as valuable. Cherish it, because when you like being with you, everything changes. 11. Design a life that moves at your pace. Not the world's one of the great gifts of growing older. You no longer have to rush. You don't need to chase the next job, or the perfect body, or that never-ending to-do list that younger women wear like a badge of honor and exhaustion. You get to move slower, more intentionally. You get to sip your tea, not gulp it. So take that slow walk. Watch the birds. Stand in the sun longer than necessary. You've earned this season. And the best part is, you're the one designing it. Not your children, not your past, not society, just you. Because this chapter of life isn't a slow fade. It's a soft, golden glow-up. And let's not forget the biggest, most daring thing you can do when you're left alone. Start dreaming again. Not out of desperation, but out of bold curiosity. Because the future didn't vanish when the people left or the noise faded. It's still out there, waiting for you to claim it. Your golden years don't have to feel like a closing act. They can be the standing ovation. And it all starts with one choice: to see yourself not as someone who's been left behind, but as someone who is just getting started. So now you might be wondering, okay, I'm doing all these things, I'm trying to embrace this new chapter. But how do I keep going when some days still feel heavy? The answer? You stop chasing happiness and start nurturing peace. Because let's be honest, happiness can be a little high maintenance. It comes and goes. It depends on moods, weather, hormones, and whether or not your favorite blouse is clean. But peace? That's different. Peace is what wraps around you like your favorite sweater. It's found in the quiet, in a hot cup of tea, in knowing that you don't have to explain yourself to anyone anymore. So, how do you build a life rooted in peace? It starts with this. 12th, get comfortable. Saying no, without guilt. You don't owe anyone your energy, your time, or your explanations anymore. You've already said yes to decades of things, favors, family events, obligations, things you didn't want to do but felt you should. Now? Now is the time for intentional living. If something doesn't light you up, move you forward, or feed your soul, you can politely, gracefully pass. It's not selfish. It's sacred. Because every no to the wrong thing creates space for a yes to the right one. And honestly, saying no with a little smirk and a fabulous pair of earrings might be the most underrated thrill of post-50 life. 13. Create a signature day. Let's do something fun. Design one perfect day that's just for you, your signature day. It could be once a week or even once a month, but it's a day where you do everything your way. Start with your favorite breakfast, pancakes with cinnamon, coffee with extra cream, maybe even a mimosa, you rebel you. Then, go where you want. Wear what you love. Play the music that makes you dance while brushing your teeth. Watch your comfort movies. Do something creative. Don't answer to anyone. It's not about escapism. It's about remembrance, reminding yourself who you are when you're not busy being who everyone else needed you to be. Write it down. Make it a tradition. Your soul will thank you. 14. Declutter your life, beyond just closets. Okay, yes, cleaning your closet feels amazing. But let's go deeper. What about the emotional clutter? The old guilt, the outdated roles, the toxic people you've been dragging behind you like a bad carry-on bag since 1997? Now is your time to release it. Forgive people who don't even deserve it, not for them, but for you. Clear out the stories you keep telling yourself about what could have been or what should have happened, and declutter your calendar too. If it drains you, delays you, or doesn't bring you closer to joy, let it go. This stage of life, it's not about adding more. It's about making room for what matters. 15. Nurture something. Even a houseplant counts. We are wired to care for things. It's in our nature. So if you find yourself feeling a little adrift, like something's missing, try this. Nurture something. It could be a houseplant, a garden, a sourdough starter, if you're feeling ambitious, or even a little stray cat who's taken up residence on your porch. When you pour love into something and watch it respond, grow, bloom, it reminds you of your own ability to thrive. And who knows, maybe that plant or that cat is your next great love story. 16. Create a legacy file. Here's something nobody talks about, but everyone over 50 should do. Create a legacy file. No, not just for legal stuff. Though, yes, please sort your will and medical directives. Future, you will appreciate that. This file is also where you put your life, your wisdom, your favorite recipes, your secret ingredients, both literal and metaphorical. Write a letter to your children or your younger self. List the top 10 things you've learned the hard way. Include pictures that make you laugh. A playlist that defines your life. That quote you always go back to when the world feels heavy. This isn't morbid. It's magnificent. It's your story, told on your terms. And whether you share it now or leave it for later, it's a reminder that your life has been full of impact, even in your quietest moments. 17. Embrace your aging like a badge of honor, not a burden. Look, aging isn't something to be feared. It's not something to fight. It's something to flaunt. Every laugh line, a joke you survived. Every silver strand, a streak of wisdom. You don't need to disappear into beige sweaters and orthopedic shoes unless you love them, and if you do, rock them. But please don't shrink yourself to fit someone else's outdated image of what getting old looks like. Wear the bold lipstick. Take the solo vacation. Start the painting class where you're the only one who remembers life before the internet. Own your space. Own your age. Own your power. Because when you walk into a room with history in your eyes and purpose in your step, people notice. And better yet, you notice. 18. Remind yourself it's okay to not be okay. Sometimes let's stop pretending that strength means pretending we're fine all the time. Some days will feel heavy. That's normal. It's human. You'll miss someone. You'll feel the ache of time. You'll question the point of it all. And in those moments, don't run from the feeling. Sit with it. Give it a cup of tea. Let it pass. And then keep going. Because strength isn't about staying cheerful. It's about showing up again and again with your messy, beautiful, complicated heart and choosing life anyway. You are not broken. You're becoming. You've made it through storms. You've carried others. You've said goodbye more times than you wanted. And here you are, still standing, still glowing, still open to what comes next. There's something so stunning about a woman who refuses to let solitude shrink her. She fills the space with beauty, with presence, with grace. And if no one else has told you this lately, let me. You are not alone. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are a masterpiece still in progress. So the next time you find yourself sitting in a quiet room, wondering what's next, remember, silence doesn't mean emptiness. Alone doesn't mean unloved. And growing older doesn't mean fading away. You are still here, still radiant, still full of stories, power, purpose, and potential. So wear what makes you feel alive. Speak kindly to yourself. Move your body, water your soul, and never stop exploring what it means to truly live, even and especially when no one's watching. Because this is your golden age, and golden things don't disappear. They shine. If this message spoke to your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Click like to let others know they're not alone. Subscribe for more empowering tips on living well after 50, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of your glow-up journey. And hey, check the description for links to other videos, style guides, and inspiring resources made just for you. You are more than enough. You always have been. And your story is far from over. Thanks for being here.